to my channel, A Note for God. I'm so happy you're here. This is one of my favorite things to really talk about. So definitely hit that subscribe button. Definitely subscribe. The little things that make me happy is if you simply subscribe. Hold on one second, because of course, the minute you hop on to do a live, your Wi-Fi doesn't, your Wi-Fi kind of wants to mess up. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it's perfect. Anyway, so definitely subscribe. The little things that make me happy. I think I'm 20, 30 maybe away from getting 100 subscribers to my YouTube channel. And the reason I want that, number one, it's a huge accomplishment. And number two, I want to customize my link, right? The simple things that make us happy. So definitely subscribe, send this link to other people so they can subscribe as well. Or if you're listening to this specific video and you know someone who wants to partake in this, definitely copy, link, and share it to them. All right, so let's get started. Oh, one thing before we get started, definitely go to A Note for God and check out what I have over there. I definitely have a 5-day free devotional, which is amazing. Because I don't know about you, but I think as a collective group, we need to start spending more time with God. So that will definitely get you started. All right, so let's get started on today's topic. It is one-on-one coaching that I am providing for this month and for the month of December, but starting this month. And you might say, like, what coaching exactly are you doing? And I'm going to tell you, I want to do, or I'm going to start doing one-on-one coaching to help you launch your podcast or your YouTube channel, or both together. Why not, right? And the reason I say that is because how many people are listening to podcasts? How many people, let's be honest, YouTube is not going to go away, right? They're not going to go away. And this is a perfect way to spread your message, right? To spread your message. And I think one of the things people get stuck on is all those little things that you have to do to launch, right? Whether it's your podcast or your YouTube channel. One of the things that I love about just my brain, I was an educator for 15 years, taught high school history. And one of the things I love is that I used to, whatever I was teaching my students, I would like break it down and let's just make it simple. Like, why are we doing this? This is too much. Break it. Essentially, this is what I'm asking, or this is what you're going to learn, or these are the important things. 1, 2, 3, the end, right? And that's what I love about how I teach, is that I make it very simple. We tend to get overwhelmed by all the tasks, and we also tend to get overwhelmed by listening to the guru, the expert, this person, that person. Well, that person said do it this way, that person. And we get stuck in all that messiness that we don't execute, right? We do not execute at all. So we don't start, right? We don't start. Oh, because I need to do this, and that. And then that all that's in your brain, or you start to write all that stuff on your planner. I love this, by the way. And you never do it, right? And I was like that too, right? Which brings me to my first tip. My first tip is, do not get stuck on perfection. Don't get stuck on perfection. I'm going to give you an example. Go ahead, after you watch this video, go ahead and look at some YouTube videos. Just browse, and you will find videos where the person doesn't speak well, their background is a mess, or it's not like this perfect setup, which a lot of people get really stuck on that. But guess what? They're doing it. They're not stuck on perfection. And back in 2018, I really had that aha moment that, just execute. Because I remember, I don't know if you follow Danny Johnson, she's fabulous as well. She said, her quote was, weigh your ego with your checkbook. Right? Weigh your ego with your checkbook. So sometimes you have to put your ego to the side and be like, look, I got to make my coins, right? I got to make money. I got to make some money for X, Y, and Z. So starting 2018, I started to do more Facebook lives, not too much YouTube. I wish I would have started, but it is what it is. And I wasn't stuck on perfect, right? Execute. Okay, how do I get better? Right? One of the tips kind of goes in here too is when I would do a video on Facebook Live, maybe like a couple hours later or the next day, I would just listen to me. I would just listen to the audio portion, right? I would listen. I wouldn't look at the video. Where's my phone? I wouldn't look at my video because then we start critiquing ourselves. Oh, your hair or the lipstick or no, who cares? I started listening to my audio to say, okay, pause it. I need to do this. Or, hey, I forgot even to mention my website. Or, hey, I forgot to give a call to action. That is why I was listening to myself, right? I didn't see myself because I wasn't going to criticize myself because I couldn't go back. I mean, you could delete the video, but what was the purpose if you wanted to convey your message? So definitely, that's one of the tips. Again, don't get stuck on perfection. Oh, I have to look right. I have to sound right. The background or this post, the picture is not perfect. You have to execute, see how you can improve, and do it again. Do it again. If you look at any of these YouTubers, that's what they did. That's why they're where they're at, right? Because they executed, which leads me to tip number 2. They were consistent, right? You drop 1 or 2 videos and they're like, nobody's watching. You do 1 or 2 podcasts, nobody's listening, right? Who cares if nobody's listening? You have to be consistent. That is how you build an audience, right? The same thing, I had those fears as well. Like, I'm doing all this, nobody's listening. It doesn't matter, right? One of the things I felt God was saying is like, I don't need your listeners. I don't need you to praise and be like, oh, look at everybody listening to me. I need your consistency. I need to see that you're being consistent. So when you're consistent, then I can bring the people to you, right? And really, you need to create the foundation for your podcast or your YouTube channel. And I'm going to show that to you again in the one-on-one coaching, where literally for myself, I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but for myself, when I create a podcast from start to finish, right? From start to finish. Now, mind you, I was a teacher for 15 years. So I should say educated for 15 years, in front of a classroom for about 8-9 years, and the rest I was a counselor. So in a way, I remember one day God saying, that was your training, right? Teaching students, right? That was your training. Because if you're a teacher, if you've ever been a teacher, like you have to have your lesson plans. You have to know what you're talking about. You have to captivate different students, right? Because not all students learn the same. And projection of the voice, certain things like you basically have to memorize, all the stuff that you're going to teach, which isn't a problem once you're like in your 5th, 7th year, because you already know what you're going to teach. But it's just, I say that to say that when I do my podcast, if you've ever listened to them, I don't edit them from start to finish, right? From the minute I hit play, talk, to the minute that I stop, upload to Buzzsprout, which I love, by the way. And I will show you all these tools if you sign up for my one-on-one coaching, is upload to Buzzsprout, and then YouTube from start to finish is an hour. And that's it, right? Again, I don't edit my podcast because I've had my training already in the field with 15 years of being an educator and talking. So when I talk, I'm not saying it's perfect, but I'm not stopping, right? It's just through. And another tip I'm going to tell you, when you are doing your podcast or your YouTube channel or whatever, and you are passionate about the specific topic, you're not sitting there being, what? Let me think, because you're so passionate, right? It comes to you naturally, right? So, I mean, you could, if you wanted to, on the long run, or get an editor if you think that's going to stop you. I'm here to tell you, you don't even need an editor, right? Don't get stuck. I don't edit either my YouTube or my podcast. So definitely go to A No for God for any of my podcasts. Wait, any of the podcast platforms, iTunes, Spotify, which other one? Stitcher. What's the other one I'm missing? I'm missing one more. iHeartRadio, I think. If you listen to the podcast, Ain't No For God, or even here on YouTube, listen to the audio. I don't go back and edit, right? I don't go. You could if you want to, but I'm telling you, it's just about being consistent, and that is my calendar's back there, or I can show you this calendar. Get yourself a calendar. The 99-cent store. You don't have to be fancy. And write down what days you are going to record your podcast, what days you're going to record your YouTube, right? Doesn't matter, both or either. And be consistent. Don't be consistent for 2 days, because I'm going to be honest, that's not going to get you anywhere. Be consistent at least for a month, right? Because you have to do that if you want to grow your audience, right? So definitely being consistent will help you a lot. And once you start doing your channel, your YouTube channel, and or your podcast, it's just going to be faster. It's going to be like, oh, this is so easy, right? Another thing I'm going to tell you what I do is I have my email, obviously, for my business, and Google Doc is amazing. So all I do, you guys, is copy, let's say Google Doc. I copy the last episode's notes, change the name, episode, whatever. Everything's already there. What I'm going to talk about, again, because it comes so natural to me, I'll just write a few notes. And the reason I write notes is so I don't go off track and be like, let me talk about everything else. And then I copy, paste. That's it. That's so simple. And then Buzzsprouts does everything for you. It uploads everything for you. You're not doing none of that stuff, right? Same thing with YouTube. I do the same thing with YouTube, and it's super, super easy, right? Now, like I said, it takes me an hour, or sometimes even less than an hour, just depending if the actual recording is a little bit longer, right? Right now, I'm averaging between 15, 20 minutes. But I think I have even one that's a half hour, 35. So that might take me a little bit longer because of the recording part, all right? So definitely be consistent, and I will help you be consistent because we're going to work together, making sure you're consistent, right? It's about 2 hours for this coaching, and you will definitely have your notes ready. I'm not going to do it for you, right? If you want somebody to do that, this is not it, because I want you to learn. I want you to do it to show you how simple it is just to get started. A lot of people get stuck on that. It's so hard to get started, right? It's so hard, but it's really not that hard. And I'm here to help you with the basic. I'm not a graphic designer. So if you don't have a logo, okay, let me just talk about that logo. You don't need a logo. If that's what's stopping you, go to canva.com, create something temporary, because guess what? You can always go back and change. You can always go back and change your logo. Nobody's going to be like, well, I remember you had this logo, right? No, nobody, right? Just go on Canva. If you want to call it no, we can't call it Today Show. The Tree Show, I don't know. You just go, put it in Canva, and put that on Buzzsprout, right? The thing is to execute it. You could always go back later. I actually did have a graphic designer create the logo. You can see that in all my stuff, but that's because I wanted to, because there was a specific vision I had, and she totally executed and she got it. But to get started, you don't. Go to Canva. Canva's for free, and it even tells you YouTube. That's the same thing I do for YouTube, the thumbnail. If you look at my thumbnails, Canva, YouTube, thumbnail. Oh, pick this. Why? Because it has the dimensions, right? Work smarter, not harder. Then I go, do it, put the picture, saved. When I do my next video, I go to the last one, copy the image, retype it, change the picture, let's go, right? I'm not gonna redo something when it's so simple. So creating a Canva thumbnail, maybe less than 2 minutes, and maybe 5 because I like the little words to kind of match. But that's it. Super, super easy. Canva's for free. You do not need a logo to get started. Just if you already know what you want to call it, just do it. In the background, perhaps if you do want a graphic designer, you can have them to design it, but you're already started. right? You've already started your YouTube, you already started your podcast. So when it's done, then you just go and change it, right? Don't let a logo stop you. Don't let like this whole color thing scheme. You have to have certain colors and you have to have. That's a lie. I'm gonna tell you that's a lie right now. You don't have to have any of that started. That's like minimal. That's like minimal stuff that doesn't even matter. I'm gonna be honest. It doesn't matter. You need to get started. That's what matters. And if God has given you a vision to do it, execute it. Because guess what? You're not executing, homegirl. I'm gonna go to somebody else. It's that simple, right? It's today. Do it. And that's why I'm so passionate with the last 2 months. These 2 months, you're going to get set up. Hopefully, you can launch by the end of the month, middle of December, definitely by the end of December. So when 2022 starts, you're already ahead of the game, right? You're already ahead of the game. And you're going to be like, wow, it's not as hard as I thought. It is super easy. And you're going to be like, why didn't I ever get started? That's definitely what I say. And I think that's what a lot of people say when, I apologize, when they start, they're like, wait, this is not that hard. It's super easy. And just like little things that I give you tips about, you're like, I can do that. I can totally do that, right? I'm going to give you 2 examples of 2 friends. One of my friends, she was coaching, or she still she coaches. I'm going to say she still coaches. And I was looking at her Instagram and I was like, hey, do you know that you, instead of putting your long link, you can just go to bit.ly. This is a tip for you guys if you don't know. Go to bit.ly, create it shorter, copy and paste, there you go. Do you know that you can put the little stickers and put like, do you want information, yes or no, right? You have to make it easy for people just to click on it, right? I said to another friend the same thing. I was like, put all your information on YouTube. That's like prime real estate. All your information. Who cares? Who cares if people like might think, not that she ever said this, but who cares if people like that's too much? This is the reason I say this, right? Because most of us, I should say myself as a busy mom, if I want to watch something, I usually save it. And I usually watch it when the kids are sleeping. So if I'm watching a video and I'm really interested and I'm like, oh, I want to connect with this person on Instagram or Facebook, or let me see what they have to offer. And I look on YouTube and I look at the link, or I look at the description on YouTube specifically, there's nothing. There's no Instagram, there's no Facebook, there's nothing. How are people going to connect to you, right? Super simple. So that's a tip for you. If you're already starting to do YouTube, go back to your YouTube channel and make sure people can connect with you. That's what people want to do, at least to follow you. I may not want to buy from you just yet, but I definitely want to follow you because I liked your video, but now I can't even follow you because you don't have anything there. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. And number three is have a why. This is so important because nothing is going to push us for anything, any goal, if we do not have a why. Make sure to have a why, right? Whatever it is, I want 100 subscribers. I want to have, I don't know, I want to create 20 episodes. I want to make enough money or make some money for X, Y, and Z. Whatever it is, have a why, because that why is going to help you be consistent, right? I'm going to show this again. It's going to help you to be consistent and not be stuck on perfection. Why? Because I have a why. Does that make sense? Because I have a why, right? I have a why. And I think as moms, our why is always our children, right? Because I want to provide a better life. I want to have extra income for my kids. I want to send them to private school, whatever it is that you want to do. I have a why, right? So definitely having a why is another reason really to execute your goals. All right. So I'm definitely offering this one-on-one coaching. It's going to be 2 hours. And you're like, that's not a lot. Trust me. 1 hour, full packed. Bring your notebook. Be ready. Because I'm going to give you assignments that you need to do before we get together. Right. There's, again, if you're looking for somebody to say, here, do it for me, that's not me, because you're not learning. Right. You're not learning. You might as well just pay me to do it for you. I'm okay with that. Like, I can do it for you. I can do the back, the Buzzsprout and the YouTube, But guess what? At the end of the day, you're going to have to still record. You're still going to have to record. You're still going to have to upload. And I don't do edit. I already told you I'm not editing nobody's videos. So if that's what you're looking for, that's not me. But if you're looking for someone to just help you, kind of push you over the hurdle, get you started, hey, just show me the basics, break it down, super easy, I will help you, right? So definitely comment below. There will also be a link to get signed up. And I hope you join. I really hope you join. I'm looking definitely for 10 women to join this month, because once you do it, you're going to be like, why didn't I start sooner? Right? We get stuck on so-and-so said this, so-and-so, and that. No, we're going to execute. We're going to do it. You're going to have your podcast up and running. You're going to have your YouTube channel up and running, your videos up and running. I'm going to tell you the software that I use. And I'm going to tell you, nothing fancy. You just need your laptop. I prefer laptop because sometimes for me, it's just easier for the typing and the recording. But people do it on their phones. So many people do it on their phones. When I do Facebook Lives, I do it on my phone. It might be a little bit easier. But anything else is my laptop. And it's so much easier for me, right? But don't let that stop you, because you can still do it on YouTube. You can still do it on your phone, believe it or not. Sorry. So definitely, I'll tell you the different programs I use, the software I use, how I create my Google Docs, how I save my Google Docs, because that's very important, right? Because time is ticking, right? So when I do my videos at night or my podcast, either my kids are sleeping or they're with their dads, but it's like I wanna. Come on, we got to finish it. I can't be looking for the notes. How did I save my notes? What folder do I have them? No, it's organization. And by being organized and having a system in place saves you time. And then you're going to be like, this is super easy. So definitely, if you want to join, comment below. Click the link or send me a email at inoforgod@gmail.com. If you have questions, anything like that, definitely let me know and we can talk. But let's get started tomorrow, because we need to execute this vision that God gave you, and you have to get started. All right. So again, don't forget, if you have not subscribed, definitely subscribe to my channel. That is one of my goals, to get 100 subscribers on my YouTube channel, to get a custom link. I know, little things that make me happy. But definitely subscribe to A No for God. If this is not coaching, is not for you, that's okay. But maybe somebody has talked to you about, hey, I kind of want to start a YouTube. I kind of want to start a podcast. How do I get started, right? I'm going to tell you how you're going to get started. Send them the video and we'll get started, right? Easy. All right, till next time. But again, don't forget to share and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.